Three, two, one. Kazi Akbar. It's the night of New Year's, man. New Year's Eve, New Year's night. It's past 12, so it's January the 1st, 2023, and I'm recording this podcast. तो हुआ कुछ ऐसा कि I celebrated New Year's how I usually do it. Alhamdulillah, surrounded by family. And once all the celebrations were done and I had eaten myself to an absolute, what do you want me to say? It was not good. The eating situation, the food situation. I took a cold shower and now I'm cold. Temperatures in the single digits in Hyderabad right now. 9, it says, feels like. थोड़ा ज़्यादा होगा, थोड़ा कम होगा, पता नहीं. And yeah, and I'm trying to record this, and they're still being really, really loud, even though it's around 2 a.m. right now. They're still being really, really loud with all the New Year's Eve celebrations, aka just dangerous aerial firing, which is what they do here in Hyderabad, Karachi, stuff of the sort. And so I have to wear these headphones. और इससे मुझे थोड़ा ये भी महसूस हुआ कि जो सारे serious podcasters होते हैं ना, I'm talking people like Joe Rogan and so on, I think they do it for a reason. This is different. It feels like I'm locked into this conversation, and I can't even imagine what it would feel like if this was another person talking to me. Abhi to sirf main akela hu. Khair, lots of emails today, and I'm hoping, since it's the New Year's and all that, inshallah, New Year's, since it's a new year, Allah rehm kare, I'm hoping to get through all of them. I think I have about 8, right? So let's not stand on ceremony for any longer. I've already made a fool of myself as far as the caloric restriction is concerned. I think I'm 2,000 calories overboard. New Year's hai, koi baat nahi, Allah rehm karega. But I did work out. Alhamdulillah, I did get a workout in, and that's good. Also got a cold shower in, so that's also good. Did have a bunch of work to do that couldn't happen. They can, people take a break on New Year's Eve, I think. Kya logic hai mujhe nahi pata. But let's just skip to it and get to the first email. Here we go. Dear Kazi, again, callakazi@gmail.com, and I will keep these anonymous until and unless you specify otherwise, right? If you don't specify otherwise, I'm just going to assume that you don't want to be mentioned, and that's fine. All right. I hope this email finds you well and in good health. Was contemplating whether or not I should write to you, and would you even read it or give a reply, but nevertheless, I'm going to bite the bullet. Oh, you don't need to bite the bullet, dude. I said I'd respond, right? I told you I'd respond. I'm sorry, I'm going to rest my elbow. It's tiring. It's midnight here in England as I'm typing this email to you while listening to the raindrops beating against my window. The remaining water is trickling down to the ground, and I'm currently on my desk sipping a warm cup of velvety, smooth hot chocolate. Outside, there's a thick cloud of fog covering the street, making it pretty much impossible to see cars parked outside of houses and the trees in the park across the road. In my red Christmas hoodie, all snuggled up and cozy, writing to you. Nice. Well, that's a good picture, right? While listening to your podcast on Spotify, I found out that you're starting a Q&A session, so I was wondering if you could shed light on my question to you. I know you're a guy, and your perspective on women and having children by a certain age might be the same as majority of my guy friends. You won't be able to relate due to not facing those prejudices or norms of society compared to a woman going through the same situation. But somehow I feel like you're an educated, empathetic and kind human being, so you might be able to answer. I mean, that's a lot of assumptions. I just try to be decent. Being a 29-year-old woman, I'm constantly reminded on every family gathering that I'm unmarried and childless. Recently getting compared to my cousin who's going to have her second child in a few months' time. And bonus, it's a boy. Inshallah, khair se ho jaye wo bhi. Somehow I feel like I've failed as a woman and have let my family down too. All right, so I have sisters and I have women that are close to me, and while I can't, you're absolutely right, I can't speak to it. मैं ये नहीं आपको बता सकता हूँ कि या ऐसा सोच भी नहीं सकता हूँ कि कैसा महसूस होता होगा. I'm telling you this, I have seen them struggle with it, and it's, I keep telling people, pick your battles. That's a battle that you don't ever choose, and yet you're always forced to fight it, right? As a woman. Oh, they're firing outside still. So I'll say this, right? You've not failed as a woman, right? If that's the only thing you take away from this, I mean, you need to understand you've not failed as a woman. It's would it have been easier? So let's just talk about it for a second. Physiologically speaking, it would have been easier for you to have kids at a younger age. Sure. Right? Yeah. But again, that's not a complete medical certainty. It's just majority of the cases, majority of the problems with childbirth and so on happen at a younger age. Having said that, I mean, you did write me the email, but you've not spoken about the context or your situational context. And so I don't know why you didn't have children. Did you not find the right person? Did you never get around to getting married, or so on and so forth, right? If you didn't find the right person and you chose to pursue life, you've not failed, right? If people were trying to force you into a situation, a marital situation, and you resisted, you've not failed. I don't see how you failed. I think we fail as a society when we let our women feel this, when we let our girls feel this. And I honestly, I just don't understand. I just don't understand why there isn't a little more warmth towards women and their plight about all this, right? Having said that, I think there isn't general empathy in our society. For instance, there's people right now that are being extremely dangerous with their New Year's celebration, right? They're probably inebriated and they are using firearms to welcome the new year, I guess. I don't know what they're doing, right? Here in one of the better parts of Hyderabad, right? And it's the same in Karachi. And so generally empathy is gone, particularly with women. Listen, man, I don't know. I feel like I need to, and I'm trying to be objective here, but I feel like I need to convince you that you've not failed as a woman. But I mean, really think about what it is that gives your life purpose. What is the meaning in your life? You're in England. What are you doing there? I, again, don't have enough context. What kind of work do you do? If you do your work, are you doing your work well? If you have friendships, are you a good friend? If you have responsibilities, other responsibilities, are those responsibilities giving you meaning, giving your life meaning, and do you fulfill those responsibilities? If you feel lonely, are you doing something to combat the loneliness? Is there a significant other who you would have liked to get married to? There's all these questions, right? And all this to say, I don't need the answers to any of those to know that you've not failed, not as a woman, not as a person. We often don't give ourselves enough credit and don't respect our circumstances as much as they ought to be respected, right? आपका जो सूरत हाल है ना, वो बड़ी बड़ी तगड़ी चीज़ होती है, और उसको अगर आप सही किस्म, मुनासिब किस्म की इज़्ज़त नहीं देंगे ना, तो आप अपने साथ नाइंसाफ़ी कर रहे हैं. क्योंकि सूरत हाल ने तो आपको बदलना भी है, आपको चलाना भी है, आपको रुकवाना भी है, रुलाना भी है, हंसाना भी है, सब कुछ करना है. तो उसको अगर थोड़ी इज़्ज़त दे दी जाए मेरे ख़्याल में, तो अपने साथ भी थोड़ा आप जो है नरमी से पेश आएंगी. मेरा ये ख्याल है, राइट? मेरा ये ख्याल है. But yeah, apart from that, I don't. So while I understand where the societal pressure to insist that women get married sooner rather than later comes from, right? And understanding it does not mean that I agree with any of it, right? It's just, I don't know quite how to because I have such little context in your situation. I don't quite know how to convince you that it is absolutely not the case that you failed. You've not failed even a little bit, right? Situations are everything, right? So if you're not married and you don't have kids, I mean, you can't have kids by yourself, right? Allah Rahm kare. So then where's this feeling coming from? As far as the society convincing women that they need to be married early and so on and so forth, if that's what's playing in your mind, if those conventions are what's bothering you, I mean, I would urge you to consider that maybe it's, it's New Year's Eve, it's Christmas. But when you're writing this, it's Christmas, but now it's New Year's Eve. So it's Christmas, and maybe you're alone, and maybe that's what's got you down, right? Maybe again, consuming all the content around people being together and people enjoying themselves in groups and in relation to other people. Maybe that's what's uh, got you down. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't have enough context. But I'll tell you this, right? I've repeated it like 3 times, right? It's not. It doesn't do to not give your situation enough respect, um, and to simply feel like. I mean, so failure. You only fail when you stop trying, right? And I know 29 years old is ancient, when you consider the um, kind of conventions that govern our societal psyche, as far as what's it called, a- as far as prodigious talents is concerned, right? I understand that to some degree, but it's certainly not the case that you failed. I don't think, right? And yeah, I just wish you'd given me more context. I would have really liked to unpack this, but thank you for writing in, right? You always can, but if you could just give me a little more context, we could figure some of this out, right? So I'm not satisfied, but at the same time, wandering around this email a little more will not help my satiety will not help my satisfaction in my response. And so I suppose we'll just move on to the next one, and let's hope that this one opens up. Right, एक तो ये जो है, दूसरी चीज़ ये होती है with the firing and all those things, like they don't even know if they're gonna hit something, right? They're just going crazy outside, and what if they hit like a telephone wire or something? Do they not at least consider this? Khair, um, this person again has not specified if they want want me to mention them, and so I won't, right? So this person says, what are Kazi Bhai's thoughts on rewarding yourself? That's the subject. Hello Kazi Bhai, I'm hoping आप पर अल्लाह का रहम बरकरार है. Allah रहम करे, alhamdulillah. You can take my name and say other details. I will try to keep it short. So here we go. All right, so Sangar Khan's writing this, and he starts off with a nice prayer for me, alhamdulillah. My name is Sangar Khan. I am a 16-year-old boy from Nowshera, KPK. Alongside being a student, I am a freelance graphic designer. I have been polishing my design skills for a couple of years now, and in 2022, I started to make good money from it, alhamdulillah. I have been successful in consistently achieving $300 for a few months now. I am saving money for a computer because right now my only workstation is a 6-year-old i3 HP laptop. I want to upgrade to a heavy-duty PC so that I can discover new possibilities with my skills with softwares like Premiere, After Effects, Blender, etc. The upgrade would also allow me to work with higher-paying clients. I want to keep saving and hopefully investing after the amount for the computer is completed, because it's just a good financial decision. It really is. I have completed my saving mark for this month, December, and have some extra money left now. With my earnings, I haven't even spent a penny on myself till now. I'm just saving all of it. Now I think I should maybe reward myself by buying some new clothes and shoes, because being an artist, I really like the scenes of streetwear fashion in Pakistan. I love your merch. I will buy that as well. I appreciate that. That's at manus.pk. The ARKG hoodie, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. With the multiple things I have planned to buy, the cost will be around 30,000 rupees, which is exactly the extra amount I have. My parents say, we will buy those things for you, but I want to spend my money. Seems funny, but I actually want to spend this money because this will be my life's first ever purchase with the money I have earned. But then I become anxious. I have mild OCD, so my thoughts just continue in spirals. What if I am just wasting my money on things that I just desire? What if I'm making a bad financial decision? What if I'm being irresponsible? And so on and so on. Okay. But you know what? I'm going to buy these things. I will reward myself. After all, it's my money. I'm doing my savings. I deserve it. Well, I shouldn't waste more of your time, but I would like to listen to your thoughts on the concept of rewarding yourself. From what I can remember, some guests on your podcast have talked about this. Maybe just take my case as a reference and state your thoughts on the concept of self-rewarding in general. Bye, Kazi bhai. Khayal rakhein apna. Allah rahm karega. Sanger, first off, I think I'm immensely proud of you. At 16 years old, I didn't know my left foot from my right foot, right? So at 16, you're doing good work, you're making all this money, and not only are you making the money you're also saving it, so you're not just spending it on yourself. I think that displays immense maturity, and so I am thoroughly impressed. Right, your parents, but whoever has raised you has done a fantastic job, alhamdulillah. Right, and that's just to say that I don't from this writing, I don't see any signs of proper childhood trauma. Right, so at least if nothing else, they didn't hurt you. From what I can tell, right, and I can't tell a lot from just this email. But I like the fact that you gave me all these details and that you kept it specific. तो मैं जो है मुद्दे पे आ जाता हूँ. Self-rewarding, once you've achieved the goals that you set for yourself, is super important. Not only is it acceptable, I think it's a requirement almost, because what else are you working for? Do you know what I mean? You're only going to be 16 once. And I wish you hadn't told me that you were going to buy my merch, because then I think I'd be less biased in my response. अब आपने ये बता दिया कि आप शायद आप मेरी भी शर्ट या हुडी ऐसा कुछ खरीद लेंगे, तो मुझे ये महसूस हो रहा है कि मेरे जवाब में भी इस डिसीजन की लालच? Is लालच a good word? I don't know. But yeah. Well, I don't want that to affect what I have to say to you, but I think it's necessary, and I think it at some point it's not even self-rewarding so much as it's self-care, right? So you want to take care of yourself, and one of the ways you take care of yourself is you buy something nice with your money, right? That's essentially how you take care of yourself. And see, so you've met all your goals, you're saving up, you're good, you have the right trajectory. And so इस सब में मेरे ख्याल में ये चीज़ सिर्फ मुनासिब ही नहीं, ज़रूरी भी है. Right? The first time I went to therapy, I was I was a little older than you. I was 18, immensely angry, full of rage, lots of difficult things going on, just abuse at the hands of teachers, and a generally unsafe environment as far as Karachi was concerned at the time. ये 2009-2010 की बात मैं बता रहा हूँ. जो थे कराची में या जिनके जानने वाले थे उनको पता होगा मैं क्या बात कर रहा हूँ. It was not a fun time to be in that city, even though I have immense love for Karachi also. But yeah, supremely angry and feeling kind of indignant and helpless and so on and so forth. Right, just lots of rage. And I go to this person. He's this old therapist. He'd seen some things, right, in his own life and also with his clients and everything. And वो मुझे बोलते हैं बेटा, my therapist called me बेटा Akbar, didn't say Kazi, Akbar, घर जाते हुए आप अपने लिए just buy yourself something. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about, man? I'm telling you about how angry I am. I'm telling you about all these problems. And you tell me I need to buy something for myself. Like, I haven't gotten good grades in my O levels, and, I have no direction in my life. What's going on here, man? He's like, no, I'm like, have you seen the city, dude? I can't stop on my way home. But he's like, just please get yourself something. But here's the thing, right? He wanted me to do that irrespective. He wanted me to get myself something even though I hadn't earned it, air quotes, right? आपने तो एक चीज़ earn की है, मैं तो earn भी नहीं की थी. मैंने कैसे earn कर ली थी? उनका logic ये था. मैंने उनसे पूछा, मैंने कहा यार क्या मतलब है इस बात का? क्या? What should I reward myself for? He's like, you should reward yourself for being on your side. For just going through the motions, doing the basics. You got up today, you took a shower, you did the basics, right? Cleaned yourself up, you dressed nice, and you showed up to therapy, and you wanted to improve. And so you deserve to take care of yourself, and you deserve to let yourself know that at least you are in your own corner, right? थोड़ी सी ये verbal vomit हो रही है, लेकिन कम से कम आपको अपने आप को ये एहसास और यकीन दिलाना पड़ेगा कि आप अपने साइड पे हो. ये लाजमी है. और मैंने तो कुछ किया भी नहीं था. तो आप ना सिर्फ कि आपने मेरे से ज़्यादा किया है, in that you have a dream and you are pursuing it. Alhamdulillah, you are working hard from the sound of the email or from the writing of the email, right? You're also asking questions of people. You've also made a decision. You've made a decision to take care of yourself and reward yourself. And yeah, I don't see what the problem is here. and maybe there isn't a problem, right? Like you said, aap to karne wale ho, but you maybe just wanted me to speak on it, and fair enough, I'm speaking on it, and I'm telling you that, yeah, you're in the right here, man. You're in the right here. Don't become hedonistic. I'll tell you this. There was a study conducted in Stanford where बहुत सारे बच्चे थे, उनको ना एक्टिविटी चूज़ करने दी गई. उनको बोला गया भाई जो एक्टिविटी चूज़ करने करो. बच्चे थे कोई 5-6 साल के होंगे, थोड़े छोटे थोड़े बड़े, मुझे एग्जैक्ट याद नहीं है, बट बहुत सारा ग्रुप था बच्चों का. एंड they were allowed to choose whatever activity they wanted to do, right? And so kids should, अब बच्चों की एक्टिविटी क्या होगी? सिंपल सी, maybe they're throwing a ball around or whatever. Maybe they're, I don't know, building a building of Legos or whatever, right? But it's something like that. तो जो भी उनने एक्टिविटी चूज़ की वो उनको पहले तो करने दी गई. फिर एक्सपेरिमेंटर्स ने क्या किया, माइंड यू ये उन्होंने खुद चूज़ की हुई है बच्चों ने एक्टिविटी, और वो खुद ही जो है कर रहे हैं और सुकून से एक्टिविटी करते जा रहे हैं. कोई इसमें ना इनाम मिलने के इनकाम आते, कुछ भी नहीं है. Then what the experimenters did was they started giving them rewards for completing the activity. An activity that they had chosen, right? They started giving them rewards for it. Okay, so the activity continued, the rate of completion more or less stays the same. Now they're getting rewards as well. After a little while, the experimenters are like, okay, अब हम rewards कम कर देते हैं, right? हम rewards कम कर देते हैं. Rewards कम जब उनने करना शुरू किया, उनको क्या, what they discovered was that the overall motivation to do the activity reduced with the frequency of the rewards. जितना reward कम मिलना शुरू हुआ, उतना ही उनकी motivation भी कम होती गई. और ये फिर इससे जो है ये समझा गया कि जो एक्टिविटी उन्होंने उस एक्टिविटी की अपनी वजह से चूज़ की थी, वही एक्टिविटी अब एक बस ज़रिया बन गई थी to get the reward, which was, I think, food in that instance, food or something of that sort, just, a pat on the back कि आपने अच्छा काम किया है, जो भी. Reward मिलने का, और उस reward के साथ जो dopamine associated होती है. Dopamine is a neurochemical that's responsible for satiety, happiness, pleasure, that kind of thing. Dopamine मिलने का जरिया बन चुकी थी वही एक्टिविटी, जो एक्टिविटी उनने पहले खुद चूज़ की थी. तो ये एक बड़ा ख़तरनाक ट्रैप होता है जिसका आई डोंट थिंक at risk of that trap as of right now. But that's just something you want to be mindful of. कि the dopamine needs to be associated with the work. Constantly improving your skills, and you talk about your Blender and your Premiere Pro and your Adobe After Effects and all that stuff. Yeah, dude, that's developing your skills, getting more work done, getting better work is what you want to associate your dopamine with. Pursuit of excellence, right? The more excellent I become, the more dopamine I'll achieve. The work that I'm doing, मेरे काम से मेरी dopamine release होगी. Right? And that's the ticket. That's what you want to do. Right? And so don't start working for the rewards, right? Because that in turn could be dangerous. Don't start working so you can buy 10 ARKG hoodies or what have you, right? ऐसे बोल रहा हूँ मैं, what have you, right? That's not the point. Don't associate your dopamine release, और ये automatically होता है by the way, तो आप associate करोगे नहीं, but subconsciously आपका दिमाग decide करेगा यार dopamine इस चीज़ से मिल रहा है तो मैं शायद काम भी इसी चीज़ के लिए कर रहा हूँ. नहीं, आप काम अपनी excellence को बढ़ाने के लिए कर रहे हो. The work is the point. The work doesn't have another point. I'm not working to get a hoodie or what have you. I'm working because this is what I want to do, the work. And then there are consequences of the work. The consequences being I get to buy myself something nice. Maybe I'll get my parents something nice, so on and so forth. So absolutely self-rewarding and self-care is fundamental. But do not associate your dopamine release or your sense of satisfaction or your sense of happiness, आपकी खुशी या ऐसी कोई भी चीज़ या dopamine release itself उस इनाम से नहीं जुड़नी चाहिए, उस अपने काम से जुड़े रखो. That's essential, right? And so fantastic question. And again, I am proud of you. 16 years old, dude. That's much love and much respect. Good. Keep that up and take care of yourself at the same time. Absolutely be aware of not burning yourself out. But I think one of the ways to avoid burnout even is to associate dopamine with the work. Because then you're not pursuing anything, you see. Because inherently, अगर आप ये सोचते रहोगे कि यार मुझे खुश होना है, अगर आपको खुश होना है, एक ऐसा बंदा जो खुश है वो खुशी की तलाश में नहीं रहता है. एक ऐसा बंदा जो खुश है वो बस खुश होता है, राइट? तो ये जो सोच है कि मुझे खुश होना है, it presupposes that you're not happy right now. समझ रहे हो? सिमिलरली अगर एक बंदा जो बोल रहा है यार मुझे ये इनाम चाहिए या मुझे ये डोपामीन हिट चाहिए, there's something about their situation that does not give them the dopamine hit or what have you, the satisfaction or what have you. They're not satisfied. That's why they're looking for satisfaction. अगर आप अपने काम को ही जोड़ देते हो डोपामीन से और satisfactions and so on and so forth, you are essentially satisfied as long as you're working. And if you're working, you're pursuing excellence. And if you're pursuing excellence, I think that's the best way to avoid burnout. I think burnout होता ही तब है when you start associating, जब आप गलत चीज़ों को अपने reward से और अपने सुकून से जोड़ लेते हो. Again, I knew this person, she was close to me, and she'd always be like, मुझे सुकून चाहिए. Right? She had a car, she was working in an industry she was passionate about, but just every day she'd be like, मुझे सुकून चाहिए. And guess what? I knew her for a year and a half. अल्लाह उनको हयाती दे, अभी भी अब मुझे नहीं पता क्या कर रही हैं, but उनके पास सुकून नहीं था. Do you know what I mean? Because she kept wanting sukoon. But if you want peace, you have to come to peace with yourself, right? There'll never be a level जिसके बाद automatically आपको सुकून मिल जाएगा, आपको peace मिल जाएगा या आप satisfied हो जाओगे. ऐसा नहीं होता. You have to come to terms with that right now, right? I really hope you're not thinking about all these things at the age of 16, dude. Again, you're doing wonderful work. You're already doing too much. So that's my opinion, right? But yeah, fantastic work. Absolutely self-reward yourself. You should self-reward yourself. Not everyone should, right? Some people, again, they'll associate dopamine not with the work, but with some consequence of the work. And they'll feel like just by doing a little bit, they should get the reward. But, definitely don't be entitled like that. And definitely don't associate your dopamine or your sense of satisfaction with the wrong things. Right. So that's important. But other than that, nothing else comes to mind. Absolutely, you should take care of yourself. Self-care is important. And this would be getting those things after you've saved up, after you've checked all the boxes. Alhamdulillah. You know what? And I really hope इसमें आप सदका और खैरात भी कर रहे हो अपनी. उसके बाद, yeah, dude, of course, take care of yourself. एक और चीज़ मैं यहाँ पे बोलूँगा, Ryan Holiday का quote है कि speaking about a certain thing and doing a certain thing vie for the same cognitive resources, right? And what that means is कि आपने एक काम करना, उस काम के बारे में बात करने को essentially आपका दिमाग सेम तरीके से ट्रीट करता है. तो इस चीज़ के बारे में भी ख्याल रखना कि अब बस कर गुजरो. बात हो गई ना, आपने फैसला कर लिया है कि भाई मुझे अपना ख्याल रखना है, कर गुजरो. Because again, you'll just tax yourself doubly. You'll just tax yourself more. Same thing with, by the way, acquiring your skills and all those things. You've spoken to me. I'm assuming you don't speak to everyone. I hope you don't speak to everyone. Kar guzro bas. Just continue to do the work, and again, associate your sense of satisfaction or whatever achievement with the work, with doing the work. Every day I got up, I did the work. That's it. I've achieved what I wanted to achieve, right? In addition to Zahir, मैं अच्छा बेटा हूँ, अच्छा दोस्त हूँ, so on and so forth. But again, Zanger, fantastic, man. Yes, absolutely. Love that. Dude, that one's good. Alhamdulillah. Sanger Khan from KPK. 16 years old. Imagine that. Fantastic. All right. Next one. Okay. This is a small email address. Small email. Again, I'm not going to mention your name because you've not specified that you need to. Hello, Kazi. Have seen you addressing so many issues related to people. Maybe that's a little selfish of me to say, but in my case, the problem is a man. I've been feeling very strong kind of feeling for him since a year. Recently told him about it too, but he just took it as a joke, or I don't know, he just ignored, and he is continuously ignoring it. Maybe the reason is just the age gap, because I'm 22 and he is almost 28. I don't know if it makes sense or not. At this point, I'm badly falling feeling at handling things. I'm not getting over him while he is constantly ignoring me. I don't want him to reciprocate my feelings, but I just want to be heard. I want him to at least communicate with me that he doesn't but he doesn't. He simply ignores or reacts on the text at max. And this thing is making me extremely uncomfortable. I don't know if it's the rejection that I'm not getting over or the frustration of not being heard by him. I cannot talk to anyone about it. Just tell me, what should I do? Also a third year MBBS student. This one thing and the other stuff related to my studies sometimes makes me depressed. Allah Rehm kare. So last things first. I really hope you're not using depression as a colloquialism here, right? Because if you meant to say that you get upset sometimes, and again, you've mentioned literally nothing else about the studies, so I'm actually not going to be able to get into that. But let's not use depression as a colloquialism anymore. If you get upset, you say you get upset, right? If you get really upset, you say you get really upset. Don't say you get depressed, right? That's serious, and that's. I mean, I don't wish that upon it. I don't wish someone getting upset on anyone either. But depression is an illness, actual. Right now, about this person, did he? So I'm assuming that, again, there's no context, but I'm assuming that you and him speak. So if you and him speak, has he ever led you to believe that he would have similar feelings, or are your feelings completely unwarranted, completely unsolicited, completely unprovoked or unstimulated? आपको ऐसा महसूस हो रहा है जैसा आपको महसूस हो रहा है? क्यों ऐसा महसूस हो रहा है आपको? उन्होंने कुछ किया, उन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया, उनकी आपको शक्ल अच्छी लग गई, या उनकी कोई अदा अच्छी लग गई, उनका बात करने का लहजा, तरीका, तमीज़, जो भी आपको अच्छा लगता है उनके बारे में, उसमें उनका कोई हाथ था? अगर उनका हाथ नहीं था, तो कम से कम हम उनको इस बात पे माफ़ कर सकते हैं. He can be forgiven for at least not knowing, or again, not being comfortable with the idea that you might be interested in him. I don't think he ever gave you any cause to be interested in him. Do you know what I mean? But if he did give you cause to be interested in him, then it's something that the both of you are going to have to work through together. Right? As it stands right now, you've not told me that he's given you any indication, or he's kind of nudged you in that direction, ki yaar, I might also be interested, or, let's get into this relationship together, or that, he might be attracted towards you, vice versa, or whatever, right? So let's just assume that he has no idea. Let's just, for his benefit right now, assume कि उनको अंदाज़ा ही नहीं है क्या हो रहा है. अगर उनको अंदाज़ा ही नहीं है क्या हो रहा है, तो फिर मेरे ख्याल में आपको कोशिश ये करनी पड़ेगी कि अगर आप हो सके, अल्लाह आपको हयाती दे, ईमान में रखे, मुझे नहीं पता आप किधर हो, पाकिस्तान के किस कोने में हो, पर मेरा ये ख्याल होगा कि आप just put it in a text. Put it in a text. You're in the third year of MBBS. For God's sake, focus on your education. I mean, it's super difficult to be in the medical field as it is. How are you getting through fine? I mean, you said you're having issues with your studies. No, of course you're going to have issues with your studies. How are you not going to have issues with your studies if this is what you're doing in terms of what you're focusing on, right? I'm not scolding you. Please don't take this as me scold. This is just me trying to reason with you and reason with your situation. आपको first off, obviously you should focus on your studies, but चलो पढ़ाई के दौरान अगर इतना ही ये चीज़ महसूस हो रही है, तो just put it in writing. You've emailed me, try emailing him. He responds to you on text. Just put it in a text, right? And make it so that whatever he responds, you'll be all right with it. And I know it's easier said than done. बहुत मुश्किल होता है. You go into your defense mechanisms up. You're trying to protect yourself. You're also trying to protect him. You feel a certain type of way in this relationship. शायद आप चाह रहे हो कि ये जैसा भी है चलता रहे, और आपको लग रहा है कि इसके बगैर आपका गुजारा नहीं होगा. गुजारा हो जाएगा. ये मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. अल्लाह रहम करे. लेकिन आपको जो है, आपको उनको फैसला करने देना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि आपने अपना इज़हार राय और अपना हाल दिल बयां कर दिया आपने, है ना? तो अब आपको उनको फैसला देने करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंस इन लव. वी गिव द पीपल वी लव the keys to our destruction, right? And if we admit love, then we live with that. We live with that risk, right? And so you're living with that risk right now. but you're going to have to let him decide. Unfortunately, there's just nothing else you could do. तो अब करने का ये है कि फ़ोन नहीं उठाते, फ़ोन पे बात ही नहीं करना चाहते, तो मैसेज पे ही सही एक बार उनसे पूछें कि हज़रत ये सूरत हाल है मेरी, राइट, एंड आई फाइंड माई सेल्फ थिंकिंग अबाउट यू, सो ऑन सो फोर्थ, जैसे आपने मुझे मेरे से बात की है वैसे आप उनको बताएं. एंड whatever, however he responds, you need to listen, right? Maya Angelou once said, paraphrase kar raha hu, when people show you who they are, believe them, right? So he's going to tell you who he is by his response or reaction or what have you, right? In both cases, अगर उन्होंने आपको लीड ऑन किया है तो शायद इसमें थोड़ी उनकी गलती है, शायद नहीं, रखी ना उनकी थोड़ी गलती है अगर उन्होंने लीड ऑन किया और अब आपको इग्नोर कर रहे हैं. लेकिन अगर उन्होंने लीड ऑन ही नहीं किया आपको, वो सिर्फ आपसे बात कर रहे थे, ही वॉज बीइंग हार्मलेस, ही वॉज जस्ट बीइंग अ फ्रेंड और व्हाट हैव यू, तो फिर उनकी गलती भी नहीं है शायद, है ना. तो irrespective, he will show you who he is in this response. Then you need to believe him. Then you need to move on. You need to focus on. Move on से मुराद ये नहीं कि आप उनसे बात ना करें, बिल्कुल बात करें उनसे, लेकिन आप बाउंड्रीज रखें अपनी, आप अपने ऊपर तवज्जो दें, आप सर फहरस्त अपने आप को रखें, आपकी पढ़ाई, कुछ और हॉबीज़ पिकअप करें, अपने आप को ग्रूम करें, ट्राई एंड गो फॉर अ रन, ट्राई एंड वर्क आउट, डू ऑल दीज थिंग्स, राइट? Because I don't know if there's many things that drain your cognitive capital the way unrequited love does, the way an unreciprocated relationship does. So that's what you should do. You ask me point blank, I'm not fond of giving suggestions, but that's what you should do. आपने पूछा, मैंने आपको बता दिया. इससे ज़्यादा आपने कोई कॉन्टेक्स्ट भी नहीं दिया, इन्फॉर्मेशन भी नहीं दी, और आपका नाम भी मैंने इसीलिए नहीं लिया क्योंकि आपने कहा कि नाम नहीं लेना. उम्मीद ये करता हूँ कि आप सुनेंगे पॉडकास्ट एंड you'll get the answer to this. But yeah, that's it, man. That's it. You have to at some point prioritize yourself at all times, actually. But don't end up being selfish or anything. I don't think you'd be being selfish if this is what you were to do. Anyhow, let's see this. Oh, what? 1 minute. ये कुछ और आ गया. Okay, let's just read it. This is funny, huh? Munich, 10, 11, 12, 13 guest speaker invite. I don't know if you have the right email. Respected sir, I hope this email finds you in good health. The IBA Public Speaking Society would like to invite you to our event, Munich 13, scheduled from 10th January to 12th of January 2023 at the IBA main campus. Keeping your contributions to the society and community at large in mind, we would like to extend you an invitation to grace us with your presence as our guest speaker for the event. We would deeply be honored to have your presence for Munich 13, as we believe it will prove to be extremely impactful for the students here. I mean, it's written like a dream, really written well, mashallah say. The IBA PSS, Public Speaking Society, I'm assuming, was upheld its legacy of fashioning leaders through ideas and being committed to providing a platform to promote the exchange of ideas, to foster an environment of critical thinking and free speech. Furthermore, the society prides itself on being inclusive to its people with disabilities and marginalized communities, and constantly works on creating an environment in which they can be integrated within the debating circuit. Munich is an entirely student-run, non-profit event initiated by the Public Speaking Society at IBA. Over the past decade, Munich has seen great students walk the halls of diplomacy, debating on diverse issues from global warming to illicit arms trades in Africa to oil exploration in the Arctic. For the past few years, the Munich has had the honor of hosting an array of prominent and influential personalities, such as the past United States Consul General in Karachi, Mr. Robert Silberstein, the president of Azad Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Sardar Masood Khan, President Arif Alvi, and many more. We have always had the pleasure of hosting personalities who have been a reason for change in our society, and we would not want this year to be an exception. By looking forward to a positive response, please find attached the official linkages proposal and let me know if you have any queries. Regards, I don't know if you want me to say your name, but this person is from the Munich 13 linkages Munich 13 team of IBA Karachi. Yaar, sure, I would love to come if I was in Karachi, right? If I'm in Karachi around that time, I'd love to come, but I don't know what I'd tell you, right? I don't actually have any service to society, to the community at large, to Karachi to Sindh to Pakistan. I don't think I've done anything. So मैं आपको आके क्या बताऊं? I will tell you this though, right? If you've had such prominent people, what was in it for them? Did they just do it because they're altruistic people? That's naive if you think like that, right? With respect and love, मैं बतौरे दोस्त या भाई ही आपसे बात कर सकता हूँ. उससे ज़्यादा बड़ा भाई, उससे ज़्यादा मैं नहीं, आपको मैं ना डांट रहा हूँ ना समझा रहा हूँ, लेकिन there was definitely something in it for them, right? And so you need to figure that out first. And you need to, instead of telling me how I'll impact people, maybe tell me what I could do for you. And maybe start off with that, and maybe start it off solid. Like, I'll just come there and give you a public speaking session, fair enough, but then usse kya hoga? I'll impact people? Really? You want to leave it that vague? What are they going to learn from me? I can't speak good. I can't speak in front of a crowd. And I don't know if I'd want to. So, long story short, sure, I'd like to come, right? Lekin, you want to give people like me, not people like me, you want to give prominent people, people who've actually done good for the community and society, you want to give them some kind of incentive to come, right? And just saying that you'll get to speak to a bunch of people and you'll definitely impact them in the best way possible. It's not incentive so much as that's pressure. Do you know what I mean? Now, not only do I have this added responsibility that I didn't ask for per se, right? I'm just some dude doing podcasts and making some posts on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, right? So did I ask for all this? And if they want to be motivated, right, these people, these students of yours, why don't they just consume my content? Why do I have to be there in person? And if I have to be there in person, is there no other incentive you can offer me except this? I'm just inviting you to have this conversation with me. This is not, please don't understand this to be any kind of antagonism. From what you've written, I think you should be applauded, and all respect and love to you. It's fantastic what you're doing, right? But yeah, those are my thoughts. Like, what kind of incentive are you giving me, really? I think about that for a second. All right, that's the fourth email. We have three more. Book club. We have three more, right? It's going to be a long one. Comparatively long. Allah Raham karega. All right. Suggestion need. Kazi bhai. Okay. Hey bro. Assalamu alaikum. I want to share my lifelong story with you and needed your suggestion. Oh, dude, this is going to be a long one, huh? Okay, cool. I wanted to share my lifelong story with you and needed your suggestion that what to do. Okay. I hope that you won't share it on your Instagram and keep it personal, as I want to keep it personal. I hope you understand. I know कि आप कोई therapist type नहीं है जो मशवरा पूछूं मैं, but I know that आप अच्छा मशवरा देंगे क्योंकि I saw your question answer sessions where people share their life's problems and you answered so well. It inspires me a lot. So I decided to share my problem with you. Again, so I'm not sharing your name or any of that, right? Not here, not on Instagram, nowhere, right? So I decided to share my problem with you. To start this, I am into someone else badly and he's not into me since July. I approached him on Instagram. उस वक्त तक he didn't know me और मेरे भी कोई इरादे नहीं थे. I just wanted to follow him, so I followed him. He's too good, too calm and whatnot. Same class belonging as we are. Then he's constantly forcing me कि मैं बताऊं उसको कि मैं कौन हूँ और कैसे जानती हूँ उसको. पहले तो I denied कि मैं ना ही बताऊं. Later on, I confessed my feelings towards him. As I said, he's so calm and composed. He replied that he don't want to do love marriage. Then I asked why. He said, I don't like the concept of love marriage. I said, okay, if you want to keep it arranged, to which he didn't reply. Uske baad, he started giving me cold vibes. I started talking him as I believed that my self-respect I stopped talking to him as I believed that my self-respect should be superior than my any other feelings. Okay. इसी दौरान a month ago, a good proposal is there for me to cut it short. They said, yes, we want to do rasam. As I was not ready, my family convinced me to the core that the larka and their family is way too good. Well-mannered, the boy is settled, but for me, look, personality matters the most. or he's not that much looking type. Okay. I go for looks. I am accepting this. I refused. Allah. मेरे लिए looks matter the most. भले वो लड़कों लाखों कमाता हो, I don't care. Okay. And also I'm into someone else as my family is chill. We love marriage को मना नहीं करते पर वो लव मैरिज को मना नहीं करते पर मैं बताऊं तब ना जब सामने वाला भी राजी हो. सब ने मुझे समझाया बहुत 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 ये फैमिली प्रेशर. अभी तक मैंने कोई फ़ैसला नहीं किया है. Yesterday that guy जिसको I liked messaged that I was busy in my office. That's why if you think I gave the cold vibes, I'm sorry for that and I sincerely respect your feelings. But I cannot respond to those feelings as I haven't developed the response feelings etc. etc. अब मैं stuck हूँ. What to do? एक तरफ वो जो मुझे पसंद है but as of now he don't have feelings for me. On the other hand, there's a family who wanted me. Of course their son wanted me too. I don't know what to do. If you were there instead of me, what would you do? I cannot forget him, but at the same time, I cannot force him to choose me. My family is asking me constantly कि क्या सोचा तुमने, क्या फैसला किया? I am fucking stuck. All right, that emphasis at the last one. You have not shared your age. So I suppose I can to some degree empathize with what you're going through if you're just asking me to tell you what I would do. That's not empathy, first off, right? We know empathy is me allowing you to respond to your situation in whatever way you seem is prudent. This isn't empathy, what I'm about to do. But if you ask me what I would have done in your situation, I'm not also a woman. So I don't know to what degree this applies. But I would have gone for someone else, a third person, right? So definitely don't go to the person who does not want to or does not reciprocate the feelings. Fair enough, much respect. मैंने आपको बता दिया and आपने बोला आगे से आपके कोई ख्यालात नहीं है ऐसे. अगर ऐसे ख्यालात नहीं है और आप ऑफिस में बिजी थे वगैरह वगैरह तो ठीक है, खुश रहें, बिजी रहें, जो भी करना है करें. ये दूसरे हजरत जो हैं जो सेटल थे लेकिन for all intents and purposes you said you didn't like how he looked, which again religiously speaking also हमें ये इजाज़त है कि अगर नहीं समझ आ रहा दूसरा बंदा, I mean ज़ाहिर है उनकी दिल आज़ारी ना करें, उनसे बदतमीज़ी ना करें, लेकिन अगर नहीं समझ आ रहा कि दूसरा बंदा looks में if you don't like how he looks, I think that's fine. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. You shouldn't be forced to compromise, and so don't compromise. But definitely don't get stuck up on this person who's not reciprocating your feelings, right? And you were absolutely right. Do not think that if you wait long enough, right, they're going to change their mind and then they're going to be good. That's not fair on him or you. And I will say that again, that's not fair to him or you. Remember that, right? Putting that kind, and I know I'm not saying you are, but again, not putting that kind of pressure on him, not fair. Putting that kind of, or putting yourself down like that. कि नहीं मैं तो आपके ही इंतज़ार में बैठी हुई हूँ. Not good either, right? नसीब अल्लाह ताला लिखते हैं and I'm sure there's something better written for you, right? If you really can't compromise on the looks, and fair enough, you shouldn't be forced to, then just focus on what you were doing anyways. Again, not enough context there. Like, are you studying? How old are you? I don't know these things. Can you afford to wait? Are you doing anything else in your life? Because again, some of these emails, pehle bhi ek maine padha, and this one also, you're making it sound like you're literally doing nothing else, right? And I hope you're doing other things. And if you're not, this is an excellent invitation. आप और चीज़ें करें. आप कोई hobby develop करें, आप कोई skill develop करें, आप कोई musical instrument उठा लें, आप कोई sports खेल लें, आप workout शुरू करें. मतलब, this shouldn't be the beginning, middle, and end of your day. This shouldn't be all that gives your life meaning. Do you know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean, and I hope you're really listening and you understand what I'm saying. Right? So yeah, I don't know. Like, as of right now, that's what I'd do if you're asking me. But again, I mean, you told him and he sort of went cold on you. That should tell you all you need to know. At the end of the day, I mean, this might seem harsh, but you want to prioritize yourself. Again, I'm not saying be selfish. Please don't be selfish, right? And I don't think it's a problem that this is your problem, right? आपने ये भी थोड़ा सा आपने शुरू ही आपने ऐसे किया, आपने माजरत की एक तरीके से. आपने बोला कि I'm kind of, What exactly did you say? I needed your suggestion what to do. Oh, it's just personal. No, no, no. आपने माजरत भी नहीं की. आपने बोला ये मेरा मसला ये है कि मैं इस बंदे से I'm stuck on this guy. Fair enough, you're stuck on this guy, right? Again, in and of itself, none of these things are problematic. But knowing, finding out, and figuring out, and knowing that this is your problem, and still staying stuck there. I mean, at the end of the day, you owe it to yourself to work on this and kind of get through it, right? And that's what I hope you do. But again, there's no more context in it for me to comment on it anymore. Again, don't know why people would assume that I am at all well versed in this stuff. Okay, ye wala thoda lamba email hai. Again, buckle up, guys. All right, last email of this podcast. It's a long one, and again, I would appreciate if you keep this anonymous. Sure thing. Here we go. Greetings. Assalamu alaikum. I have been watching a podcast since 2 years, and I have enjoyed and learned a lot from them. I mean, anything that you learned came from you, I assure you. Allah Rehm Kare. Or from the guests. They're fantastic. I'm writing to you to tell you about the demons of my mind. I quite literally don't know how to manage friendships. I often catch myself between the two extremes. Sometimes I think I have the best of friends around me, and sometimes I feel like no one want to talk to me. Okay. It is me who always makes the effort, and if I don't talk to them for days, they simply won't. I'm talking about my school friends, and we aren't in the same college together, so we barely meet each other. It's always online that we talk. I hold on to them because I have the best memories with them. And to be very honest, because if I let go, I would be out of friends. I know the answer to this reality, but I just don't want to accept it. I know that they ain't the ones if they don't prioritize me as much as I prioritize them. They ain't the ones. Okay. All right. But then I think, what really is friendship? What are friends for? Are like friends for real? Or are they just some people that we know? Are they our alter egos? Are they someone that we want to be like? That's why we want to hang out with them? They could be our social reflections as well. What is the merit for two people to be friends? Sometimes I feel like, well, not sometimes, only in December holidays when I'm home and I don't really get to interact with people, I feel like I'm no one's first priority, excluding my family. They're the best. So you are someone's first priority. To conclude this all, I would like you to answer what really is friendship, because I've come to believe that it's nothing but merely time pass. We just hold on to one another because it's the need of the time. I also feel like over time, the ways I've been ignored by the people that I wanted attention from, I've now become ruthless. Like I no longer care if someone stays or leaves. It saddens me for a day or two, and then I'm completely normal. It's sad to me because I wasn't like this. I've become insensitive. Regards, Allah Rehm Karega. So yeah, that again, I'm sorry that you feel that you've become ruthless, but I suppose that's part of growing up. What you're referring to as ruthlessness, maybe it's not ruthlessness so much as it's just you reprioritizing, right? Resetting your priorities. Because from the sound of it, you haven't mentioned your age, but you are young. You're talking about college, so what? I'm assuming you're 18, 19, 20 max, right? Maybe a little younger, or maybe a little older, 20, 21, right? So here's the thing, right? With memories, and this I feel for sure, right? I have some friends, alhamdulillah, that I've known now for 15 odd years, right? That's a long time. I'm 30 years old. I've known them for 15 odd years, alhamdulillah. Are we as close as we used to be? No. Do we understand each other more now than we did before? Sure. Right? Were we closer back then? Sure. But so all of these things none of these things are mutually exclusive. So all of these things can coexist. ये सब coexist कर सकती हैं चीज़ें. मैं आपको ये बताऊंगा लेकिन कि जो आपकी मेमोरीज होती हैं, जो आपके वो बीते पलों की यादें होती हैं, वो टाइम सेंसिटिव होती हैं. उस वक्त, जिस वक्त की वो यादें हैं, उस वक्त में ये आपके बेहतरीन दोस्त ज़रूर रहे होंगे. उस वक्त में you must have been their first priority and they must have been yours. But then they moved on. Then they developed other priorities. And then you moved on. But for whatever the reason is, you couldn't develop other priorities. You prioritized not being lonely. They maybe must have prioritized getting better at school, studies, whatever else, right? So that's something that you might want to focus on. I think, sincerely, honestly, I think you might want to focus on. Yeah, this headphone is now itching my ear. Ow. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm still getting used to it. This is now. I'm an hour and 17 minutes in, and these headphones now are getting a little snug. I won't lie. But yeah, what are friendships to me? Are they time pass? No, friendships are not time pass. Friendships are also, they don't shouldn't have a time limit, but friendships aren't necessarily supposed to be governed by any one kind of convention. You'll have all sorts of friends. You'll have some friends that really, you might as well just call them colleagues or work people or what have you, right? They're just there to do a job. And once their job is done, once your job is done, whoever's job is done, they're good, they're gone, right? There's other people that just stick around in life indefinitely, right? Um, Either way, I don't think it's fair for you to expect that anyone would prioritize you above their family, their spouse, their children, or their mom and dad, or what have you. Yeah, God, she said this also. You shouldn't call this becoming ruthless or desensitized so much as you'd call it just growing up. Like I said, I've known people for 15 odd years, and those people, it's not that they prioritize me first, it's just that I have to, and ऐसा नहीं है, कुछ दिनों में मुझे भी महसूस होता है कि यार ये मेरे जवाब ही नहीं दे रही है, जवाब ही नहीं दे रहा है, जो भी वगैरह वगैरह, राइट? ज़ाहिर है ऐसा होता है. But you want to come to terms with the fact कि ऐसा नहीं है कि they're not prioritizing you, it's just that some other things are more pressing. Some concerns, some feelings, some problems that they need to solve just need their immediate attention. That's it. It's not any more complicated than that. It doesn't have to be, and I shouldn't make it, right? Growing up, part of growing up is having the maturity to be like, yeah, no, this doesn't need to become any more of a problem than it already is, right? And that'll take a lot of doing. Again, easier said than done. Of course, easier said than done, right? But important. This needs to be done because otherwise you'll keep feeling wronged, right? By people, by your demons or what have you. You keep feeling that you should have been someone's first priority. And you feel like you continue to feel like you were owed. That's not fair. Do you know what I mean? It's not fair to you. It's not fair to the other person. Again, you need to be your own first priority. Absolutely. Goes without saying, right? You don't want to hold it against them that they can't prioritize you first. They're not even in the same college, right? They're going to school, they have classes, they have all these responsibilities. You do too, right? You do too. And also, I don't know if you want to feel like you should be anyone's first priority. I don't know. I mean, you just said that your family is great, alhamdulillah. I don't know if you should think that you ought to be your family's first priority either. Because even your family has things going on in the day, you know? And to feel entitled to that is to give way to bitterness and anger. मतलब फिर आप ना कभी इस चीज़ के बारे में नहीं शिकायत करना कि आपको इतना गुस्सा क्यों आता है. जाहिर है आपको लग रहा है कि एक चीज़ आपको मिलनी चाहिए है और आपको नहीं मिल रही है, तो गुस्सा तो आएगा ना. एक चीज़ की आप हकदार हो और वो चीज़ आपको नहीं मिल रही है, तो इस बात पे आप खुश तो होगे नहीं, राइट? आप इस पे गुस्सा ही करोगे ना. और उस सूरत हाल में गुस्सा भी जायज़ होगा. लेकिन जैसे मैंने पहले आपसे अर्ज़ किया कि जो आपकी मेमोरीज़ है ना जिस ज़माने की, उस ज़माने में, उस वक्त में, उस दौर में आप शायद उन लोगों की पहली प्रायोरिटी थे और वो शायद आपकी पहली प्रायोरिटी थे. लेकिन उसके बाद उनकी ज़िंदगी में बदलाव आया, आपकी ज़िंदगी में बदलाव आया, और उनकी ज़िंदगी में जो बदलाव आया उनकी बुनियाद पर उन्होंने ये फ़ैसला किया कि यार अब हमें दूसरी चीज़ों को तवज्जो देनी पड़ेगी. और आपकी ज़िंदगी में बदलाव आए, लेकिन शायद वो बदलाव इतने maybe the changes weren't severe enough, maybe the changes weren't big enough, इतने बड़े नहीं थे ये बदलाव कि आप ये फ़ैसला कर सको कि यार मुझे भी अब कुछ और चीज़ों को attention देनी पड़ेगी, right? So that's it, man. That's my 2 cents on your situation. Friendships are, there's multiple categories of friends. There's friends that are just there to get a job done. And I mean, don't begrudge them, right? They're there to get a job done. You're there to get a job done. It serves both of us, right? Whatever it is, it serves both of us. Even if someone's using you, I think there's something in it for you to be used at that moment. ये सोचने की बात होती है थोड़ी. मैं जो है बात बोल रहा हूँ उसको थोड़ा समझिएगा. ऐसा हो सकता है कि अगर आपको कोई इस्तेमाल कर रहा है तो उनका फ़ायदा तो लाजमी आपको नज़र आ रहा है कि वो आपको इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, और जो जिस तरीके से इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं वो, या जिस बुनियाद पे इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, या जिस जिस चीज़ के लिए इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं वो उनका काम है और काम हो रहा है. पर ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आपका इस्तेमाल होना किसी तरीके से आपके लिए फ़ायदेमंद है. Right? And not consciously, obviously, who wants to get used, but subconsciously or unconsciously, you're like, yeah, they're using me, but at least I'm not alone. For example, that's an example of an unconscious admission. इस चीज़ पे भी थोड़ा जो है गौर व फिक्र करनी पड़ेगी. पर बहरहाल कुछ ऐसे किस्म के दोस्त हैं, कुछ ऐसे दोस्त होते हैं जो इंडेफिनेटली आपकी ज़िंदगी में बस जाते हैं और वो आपकी ज़िंदगी के हिस्सा बन जाते हैं. इसका मतलब ये जो दोस्त होते हैं अमूमन, इनसे ना आप रोज़ मिलते हो ना रोज़ बात करते हो. शायद हफ्ते में एक बार बात करते हो, शायद महीने में एक बार बात करते हो, लेकिन जब बात करते हो प्यार से करते हो. और आपको पता होता है कि खुदा ना खास्ता अगर कोई मसला हो जाएगा तो आप इनको फ़ोन कर सकते हो. राइट? सो दिस वर्जन्स, there's multiple kinds of friends and those are just two that come to the top of my head right now. But बहुत सारे अलग अलग किस्म के दोस्त होते हैं. एंड उससे ज़्यादा ये जो यादें आपकी, ये जो यादगार पल हैं आपके, ये इनका सिर्फ सिचुएशनल नहीं होता है जैसे लोग याद करते हैं. मैं जब छोटा होता था, 18 साल का होता था, तो एक हॉटस्पॉट कैफ़े होता था यहाँ पे कराची में. उस पर काफ़ी यादगार पल भी थे. तो अब मैं सोचूं कि यार वापस चलते हैं उसी जगह पे. ये इस चीज़ को ना फिल्म्स भी बड़ा रोमांटिसाइज करती हैं. ग्रेट रोमांटिसाइजेशन. इट्स आई थिंक ऑलमोस्ट इंटायरली नॉनसेंसिकल. पर खैर, this coming from someone who after 10 odd years has returned to their childhood home, right? I'm sitting in my childhood home right now, alhamdulillah, Allah ka shukar hai. But do I expect to feel the same way? I shouldn't expect to feel the same way. I shouldn't expect anything. Whatever I feel is what I feel. Allah rehm kare, right? So similarly, अब मैं क्या करूँ, बहुत सारी वहाँ पे यादगार पल हैं. अब मैं जाऊँ वहाँ पे और फिर से जाके बैठ जाऊँ हॉटस्पॉट कैफ़े पे, और मेरे ख्याल में जल गया है, मेरे ख्याल में बंद ही हो गया. अब कहीं और बुखारी कमर्शियल या कहीं पे खुला है फिर, फ्रॉम माई अंडरस्टैंडिंग. बहरहाल वहाँ पे कॉफ़ी शॉफ़ी मिलती थी, केक शेक मिलते थे, ऐसा कोई मीठा सामान मिलता था, स्वीट स्टफ, cakes and stuff, whatever. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't really a fan. I much prefer something a little simpler like Happy Donuts or O Donuts or something of that sort. That's a sidebar that we'll get into in a minute. I think अब मैं वापस चला जाऊँ हॉटस्पॉट कैफ़े, मैं सोचूं कि यार मुझे वही चीज़ें फिर से याद आ रही हो, और अगर वही लोग उसी तरीके से मेरे से रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहे, वही दोस्त. I was never their first priority. No. Back in the day when I was 18, in that moment, whenever the memory is from, say it was the final day of exams, A-level exams, O-level exams, final day of O-level exams. We went to Hotspot Cafe. मिसाल दे रहा हूँ, नहीं गए थे Hotspot Cafe, लेकिन मिसाल दे रहा हूँ. Hotspot Cafe we went to, right? There's a bunch of friends. Let's call them, let's give them generic names, right? There was a Muniba, there was an Anam, there was a Shayan, there was Hamza, there was Haris, so on and so forth, right? एंड अब मैं चला जाऊँ 12 साल बाद जाके हॉटस्पॉट कैफ़े बैठ जाऊँ, मैं बोलूँगी यार this is the first day of the new year. मैं बैठा हूँ हॉटस्पॉट कैफ़े पे, मैसेज कर रहा हूँ, मुझे रिप्लाई नहीं कर रहे. Ipso facto, they were never my friends, so that's not fair. In that moment, 12 years ago, I was their first priority and they were mine. That's why we were sitting next to each other. In hindsight now, 12 years later, if they've stuck around at all, alhamdulillah, Allah ka karam hai, right? If they hadn't stuck around, that'd still be fine, because things changed. That doesn't mean I was never their first priority. That means I'm not their first priority right now. And what that should mean is because my life's changed also, I shouldn't be their first priority. Do you know what I mean? I hope this makes sense. But yeah, I think feelings and memories have a very, very strong temporal value. I think the temporal value on feelings and memories is greater than the situational or locational value, the geographic value, right? किसी शहर, किसी मुल्क वगैरह से हम जोड़ लेते हैं feelings को, एहसासात को, लेकिन maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should attach it with our age and the times more, right? Like you'll be like, you must have heard this, I'm sure. These were the best years of my life. Those were the best times. Good time. अच्छा वक्त गुजरा वगैरह वगैरह. ये सब बातें क्यों बोली जाती हैं? ये किसी सिचुएशन के बुनियाद पे तो नहीं बोला जाता ना कि यार कराची में अच्छा वक्त गुजरा. You just like अच्छा वक्त गुजरा, right? And so yeah, I feel like friendships and relationships and memories generally should be understood in a temporal context, and in the context of time. Speaking of time, this is the 1st January of 2023, right? Alhamdulillah, we've made it. Allah ka shukr hai. And I hope if you listen to this all the way, I just hope you're taking care of yourself, and I hope that this year brings you success and love and respect and everything beyond your wildest dreams and imaginations. I really do. I hope this for you, and I hope this for me, and I pray this for us, inshallah. And that being said, I hope if you're hurting, you heal. I hope if you're lonely, you find company and you feel loved and held. And I hope that if you're lost, you are found. And I hope that if you are in need of guidance, that you find guidance. And I hope that the bounty of the infinite King bestows grace on all of us. Right? One of the most powerful things about grace is you can't earn it. तो मैं लायक नहीं हो सकता हूँ अल्लाह ताला के करम के. उनको बस करम करना है क्योंकि वो रहमान है और रहीम है. वो करेंगे इंशाल्लाह. Right? And that should, if nothing else, give us hope. He just has to. He has to help us, and he has to guide us, inshallah. And so we will be guided. Allah Rahim karega. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. अब मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. I think I started this podcast in 2020 जब lockdown लगा था. Right? So this is now the second full year of completion of the podcast, right? I'm in the 3rd year. I'm starting the 3rd year of the podcast, alhamdulillah. And it's been an absolutely fantastic ride. And there's been difficult times and there's been easy times, but they've all been, I think, instrumental in teaching me, And I've certainly made a fool of myself, but Allah Ta'ala ka karam hai, people have been kind. And then that's all I can say at the end of the year now. End of the day, end of the year, beginning of the next year, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala sabko hayati de. So yeah, if you're listening to this point, you're fantastic, man. You got this. You got this, and this year is going to be the best one yet, inshallah. And you will prosper, and you'll be fine, and I'll see you. I'll see you, and you'll see me, inshallah. But yeah, as of right now, wherever you're listening, listening to this, I hope you're warm. It's getting kind of cold here, man. Won't lie, right? I don't know where you are, where it's not good. Maybe somewhere in Kuala Lumpur. अभी कराची में भी सर्दी हो गई अब तो maybe somewhere in Kuala Lumpur, right? अब ऐसे किसी ट्रॉपिकल लोकेशन में अगर आप हैं तो एक बात है, लेकिन अगर आप जैसे खातून थी उन्होंने इंग्लैंड से लिखा था, वहाँ पे तो बहुत सर्दी होगी इस वक्त. कनाडा में बहुत सर्दी है इस वक्त, बट कुछ और जगह हैं जहाँ पे इतनी सर्दी नहीं है. Khair, yeah, so it's really, really cold. I hope you're keeping warm and all those things. And I hope that you remember me in your prayers, inshallah, right? And yeah, okay, all the usual stuff, like, share, subscribe, do all those things. Okay, do it if you want, right? Don't do aapki marzi hai. But just take care of yourself and really prioritize yourself. Really try and understand yourself. Like, just do these things, inshallah. In sab cheezon ke alawa, there'll be links to everything. I'll try to do the timestamps and all those things, and I'll try to get this podcast up as soon as possible, inshallah. Hopefully you'll get it on the 1st of January. I record it, then I edit it, and then I upload. Wouldn't that be cool? Record, edit, upload on the 1st of January. Because that's how we do it. Nahi, chalo Allah raham karega. Anyways, I hope you're keeping good. I hope you're being good, and I hope to see you soon, inshallah. Yeah, I don't know if I want to keep going. See, this is the thing. This is why you want to have guests. But yeah, to everyone who wrote in, thank you for writing in. I hope this helps, and I hope that you prosper, inshallah. I really do. But yeah, some of the key. I'll mention it in the chapters or time codes or whatever, right? I'll mention it. I'll mention the things that were most pertinent. But again, Ryan Holiday's quote: speaking about a thing and doing a thing vie for the same cognitive resources. Spoke about that. Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, believe them. Right? Those are some of the things you want to live by. Become someone you want to take responsibility for. That's by Jordan Peterson. Yeah, man. Just stay humble, be kind, and try and figure out what's going on without judging people and jumping to conclusions. You owe that to the other person, you owe that to yourself. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Keep writing in. Callakazi@gmail.com. That's CALLAKAZI@gmail.com. Make the emails as detailed as you want, and I will try and get back to you promptly in one of these podcasts, inshallah. I love you. Allah Raham Karega.